Welcome back to the Weekly Headlines. I'm Kevin Hart.
I'm Mike Wimmacher.
And let's get to the news. When cuts to the fire department seemed imminent, the mayor said no firefighters will be laid off. Sorry, Valiezo, looks like you went into the wrong profession. There were a lot of people upset at the mayor's decision to fire his economic and development director that seemed to come out of left field. The mayor said he wants to head in a new direction with that position, before going on a Denzel-style rant about how much he did for the city economically. And you can't just throw Val off to the side and hope people forget about her like she's, I don't know, a proposed homeless shelter.
The Springfield City Council is thinking about limiting Mayor Jim Langfeller's spending authority. The mayor currently can spend up to $50,000 without getting the council to sign off on it. The new proposal, first brought up in 2018, will limit the mayor's spending ability to just $10,000. Essentially, Langfeller would go from popping bottles of Dom in the club to twisting bottles of Boone's Farm.
There has been quite a bit of chatter about America's least favorite frat boy, Matt Gaetz. Yeah, sorry there, just as I like beer, you got beat. Gaetz allegedly had sex with a 17-year-old girl. That is also sometimes referred to as statutory rape, which, by the way, is very illegal. The New York Times is reporting Matt Gaetz may have even asked then-President Trump for a blanket preemptive pardon. Good thing that without a shred of irony or dignity, Gymnasium Jordan rushed to his defense. I bet Matt Gaetz is thinking to himself, bummer, I don't know what's worse, going to jail or my girlfriend not having a date to prom.
Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, seen here rehearsing his favorite Matthew McConaughey line from Dazed and Confused, and I think we all know which line that would be.
That's what I love about these high school girls. I get older, they stay the same age.
Was the keynote speaker Friday at the Women for America First convention. Yeah, that Matt Gaetz, the one who's currently being investigated for possible sex trafficking and having sex with an underage girl. Now, before you jump to conclusions, this was just one in a series of For America First events, like Hispanics for America First, with Sheriff Joe Arpaio as its keynote speaker, Responsible Gun Owners for America First, that's going to feature Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, and don't forget, African Americans for America First, with keynote speaker David Duke.
Mary Triumph of the Miller is sounding off on the immigration problems at the border. She claims that those people coming over the borders are bringing disease and weapons, and that amounts to an invasion facilitated by Joe Biden. An invasion, huh? That kind of sounds like the invasion that her husband was at a few months ago. Ava Braun Jr. also thinks, with no evidence of course, the Democrats are forcing black people into underperforming schools to keep them down for their own political advantage. You know, it doesn't surprise me that she thinks like this. And I don't have a clever punchline at all, because anyone who positively quotes Hitler is a joke in and of themselves.
Former Illinois Congressman Ray LaHood has stepped down as head of the governing board for the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum after his admission that he failed to disclose accepting foreign money while serving as U.S. Transportation Secretary. LaHood did leave behind a pen he used to sign those foreign checks to be put on display in the library, but the authenticity of that pen, however, has been called into question.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just passing around the collection basket. You see, times have been hard, and we really could use your help. Biden's press secretary, Jen Psaki, recently said federal vaccine passports are not going to happen. So Republicans are in dire need of talking points to deflect from Matt Gaetz preying on teens, the Donalds mounting legal problems, and big businesses not supporting Georgia's new anti-election laws. For just pennies a day, you can continue the de-education of our youth, keep our kids dumb, and remember the words of our illustrious, duly elected dear leader.
I love the poorly educated.
Forbes' annual Billionaires list edition dropped earlier this week. The list included a record 2,755 billionaires. The combined worth of all those who made the list was $13.1 trillion, up almost $5 trillion since last year. Now, Jeff Bezos sat atop the list with $177 billion. Warren Buffett fell outside the top 5 for the first time in 2 decades, but don't feel too bad for old Warren, as he still has $95 billion in his coffers. Now, one person of note who fell 300 places on the list is a retired Florida man. But you can help change that. With just one donation that may turn into 10, 20, or God knows how many, you can help make this retired Florida man great again.
A new Star Wars TV show is in the works. Kenobi will see Ewan McGregor return as the titular role, and Hayden Christensen will come back as Anakin Skywalker. And not much is known about the plot thus far, and there's still a lot to learn as production gets underway. But I know one thing with 100% certainty: Star Wars fans will hate it, and blame every flaw on Kathleen Kennedy, as they have the past 6 years. But you can replace Kennedy with George Lucas, and it's the same thing they've done for 22 years.
Major League Baseball season is now entering its second week, and the Chicago Cubs offense has been anemic at best. Through 6 games, the Cubs as a team were batting .124. The only person that swings and misses more than the Cubs hitters is Springfield Alderman Sean Gregory. And those are your weekly headlines. I'm Mike Wimmacher.
I'm Kevin Hart.
And we are out of here!